Morning, morning. Mr. Johnson, how are you, sir? Morning, all. Is that Mr. Johnson there with us? How are you? How are you, Ms. Rogers? One, two, three, four, five. Morning, morning. Are you all able to hear me? Yes, I can hear them. Mr. Johnson, how are you, sir? I'm doing fantastic. I haven't started the runnings such as yourself, but I'll gradually get there. I think I lost Mr. Johnson. Yes, sir.
The name under on your caption is Jade Lowe.
Well, we all have aliases. Yes, but it's Javon Butler.
Congratulations! I see you recently appointed. Is that you, or that's another Butler?
Oh, that's me, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. The winds are.
When I need a job.
As the judge said, the only thing I can invite you to become is a shareholder. Ms. Rogers, how are you, Bob?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. And we have Mr. Lockhart with us as well.
Yeah, that's very good.
How are you, sir? So Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Sorry, Charles. When you speak with your colleagues and peers, please let them know that a good WINS education carries you far in life.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was quite pleased when I saw that. I said, there you go.
Yes, sir. Hey, money's well invested.
Yes, good return.
Yes, sir. All right,
Great
got,
stuff, man.
yeah,
Proud of you.
no, but thank you. And I'm excited to host this show with three distinguished individuals from the insurance sector. Union money for those, for Ms. Rogers and Mr. Lockhart. I don't recall if you've been on the show before, but it's a slower paced show than Bahamas at Sunrise, so we really want you to delve into the details of the questions being asked. I'm only a host. I'm not a personality, I'm not a journalist. I'm here to ensure that the general public receives the information that you're sharing with them, all right? So just waiting on our man of business to inform us when we can start. It's 3 8-minute segments, and the time will fly. Mr. Johnson is a professional and a veteran at these shows, so
I don't know about that. Yeah, I think I prefer the live show as opposed to the Zoom. You know, I mean,
yeah,
a little bit more chemistry.
yeah,
Staring into the camera. I mean, I guess it takes some getting used to. Even though you do a lot of these Zoom meetings,
yeah.
you know, it's a little difference, I guess, when you're doing it for a live recording.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay.
I think Charlene is really professional.
Okay. So, Charlene, we'll make this your show.
Remind Mr. Johnson, he's the expert. Actually, this is my first time on your buddy.
Okay, please
Yeah.
don't let it be your last time. Do not be a stranger to the show. It's a wonderful show.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And Antonio, is this your first time?
Yeah, this is my first time.
Okay. How you doing this morning, man?
I am good. Frozen and scratchy, I don't know why, but take some lemonade in the cold.
Yeah, it's the cold weather. I'm in the same predicament this morning.
It's made 3 of us.
Yes. Okay, we're getting there, guys. Yes, sir. All right, guest, we will start in 30 seconds. Okay. I'm ready, Terrence. Okay, standing by. Okay. Good evening and welcome to You and Your Money. I'm your host for this evening's show, Butler, and as usual, we thank you for joining us. The Bahamas Insurance Association is celebrating Insurance Month for the month of February under the theme, Insurance and You, Resilient Together. We are happy to have as our guest on this evening's show, Mr. Charles Johnson, Senior Manager for J.S. Johnson, Ms. Charlene Rogers, Vice President of Bahama Health, a division of Family Guardian, and Mr. Antonio Lockhart, District Manager, Family Guardian. Good evening, everyone.
Good
Good
evening.
evening. It's good to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this panel this evening. Mr. Johnson, many Bahamians hear about insurance, but would you explain for us what is the organization, the Bahamas Insurance Association?
Thank you very much, Javon. The Bahamas General Insurance Association, Bahamas Insurance Association comprises both the life and health as well as the general insurance companies in the Bahamas, including agents and brokers, as well as independent adjusters. The association, which is a professional association, was formed many years ago. Back in the early 70s, there were two arms of it. You had the Bahamas General Insurance Association, and of course you had the Life and Health Association. And back in 2010, both associations merged and became one association, sort of under one umbrella. And we also invited the brokers and the independent adjusters to be a part of us. So we now represent largely all of the insurance associations in the Bahamas. It's well represented by highly professional persons.
Great to share, and I'm going to stick with you, Mr. Johnson. What is the importance and value of each respective field that the three of you represent? And I want to start with you, Mr. Johnson. What is general insurance? What should we cover, and why is it important?
General insurance really deals with property insurance. It's a very broad field, and without getting into too much detail, but certainly persons who own property, and property would include, your buildings, whether it's a private home or commercial building. It would also include marine type coverage if you own a boat, commercial boat, a private pleasure craft, an aircraft. And within those caption, there are various specific types of insurances that one should consider. For example, if somebody has a retail store, they would want to ensure that they have adequate insurance to cover the loss of their building against catastrophic loss, as well as water damage and a whole series of other perils. They also must consider other types of exposure to that business in terms of liability, their responsibility to the public and to their employees in the event they are negligent and cause injury to these persons. There are other exposures such as the coverage on their money, the movement of money in the event there is a burglary or holdup. And there are a whole series of specified coverage depending on the type of business that you have. But more importantly, in the Bahamas, we want to know that homeowners are adequately insured. They are insuring their properties for replacement value. And that's an area that is of concern to us because we are seeing a decline in that type of business, except for those that are still mortgaged.
I just have to stick with you. You mentioned insuring your property for the true value of that property. We've heard the expression many times, underinsured. For that homeowner
Yep.
who's watching the program, please explain to them why they need to have their properties insured for its true value.
Well, that's, you want to determine the replacement value of your property, your building. In the event you have a total loss, you will be able to recover 100% of the value in order to replace that building. Now, of course, that requires periodic appraisals of your property to ensure that you are insuring for the full value. Sometimes persons would build a home and or purchase a building, and whatever the amount is that they purchase the building for is the amount that they continue to insure the building for years in the future. But we recommend that every few years, 2-3 years, you should check on the value on your building and insure for that value. Unfortunately, a lot of persons are underinsured, and there is a disadvantage to the insured, to the individual who underinsure, because in the event there is a loss, then you find that the individual are unable to recover the full value of their loss, particularly where there is a partial loss. And the policy will pay in proportion to the insured value compared to the replacement value in the event of a partial loss.
Forgotten you, neither Mr. Lockhart. Ms. Rogers, what is the importance of health insurance?
We consider health insurance as financial security that can enhance the quality of life. So in the event someone needs emergency care, primary care, or there's some catastrophic illnesses, your health insurance reduces the financial burden that you would have to bear. And so we encourage persons to really seek this health insurance because sometimes we face it with the pandemic. It came on us suddenly. There are various levels of severity of illnesses. So having that insurance provided that protection for many insured, where they were able to, get their care based on the level of coverage they would have had under their benefit plan.
Everyone keeps asking during this pandemic. That individual, and this may not have been determined as yet from the sector standpoint, but that individual who may have experienced COVID during the last 2 years, are they still covered? Will they still be covered? If someone were to apply for new health insurance, is COVID going to be treated as a pre-existing condition?
Well, with every insurance plan during the application process, you would find that COVID would be a question that, would be there. Of course, it depends on, that affected persons. Some persons may have just had it and it's passed. Others may be suffering from, residual illnesses as a result of the COVID that may impact the underwriting process. So the underwriters really need to get into the depth to see what is the state, what is the risk at this time to be insured.
Guys, we're going to take our first commercial break here. This is You and Your Money. We'll be right back. Ms. Rogers, I hope that wasn't a loaded question, ma'am. People want to know.
Yeah, they want to know,
Take it up
but
the
they
phone?
have to go through the underwriting process
Oh, okay.
to determine.
Oh, okay.
Because it's still evolving
No.
in terms of the impact that COVID is going to have on insurance. As a matter of fact, this whole question of pandemic,
Yeah.
you know, it's not new, but certainly it's the first one for many years. So
Yes.
a lot of things that are
To an
right
extent, yes.
haven't been, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So we definitely, time will reveal all, Mr. Johnson. We'll
Yeah.
see what direction
Yeah.
the world takes here. You know, because it's going to be global. Yeah.
It is good.
It is global. It is global. Yes, sir. Welcome back to You and Your Money. We are joined by three distinguished guests as we discuss Insurance Month in the Bahamas. Mr. Lockhart, we have not heard from you as yet, sir. Many individuals always ask about life insurance and why should I take out a life insurance policy when I'm not going to be the beneficiary of that policy. Would you speak to us about the value of life insurance, specifically from an estate planning standpoint?
Well, from an estate standpoint, it's the best way to create an estate.
Yeah.
The life insurance is the only product that's going to allow you, with one payment, if you're approved, you could leave someone 10, 20, 100, 200, a million, whatever you were approved for and qualified for. So it's the best way to create an estate. Though you didn't have the time to put $300,000 aside for the wife and the kids, you're still able, maybe you only put in $1,000, you're able to leave a $300,000 nest egg for your family. Being a parent myself, like I said, I wasn't a woman, but I sell to many persons. And so I still know I wanted my baby to born with 10 fingers and 10 toes. And you say, let my baby be healthy. And the moment you became a parent, you begin to realize there's something more important than you. And death wasn't what I was the most afraid of. What I became the most afraid of is as if I saw myself through translucent dirt and wanted to make sure that Gabrielle and Haley are still able to have a quality of life if I'm here or not. And so that's what life insurance does. It's something we're very passionate about. And unlike the general and the health, I like to point out to persons, you can only die once. So we're able to do things with the life insurance product that the general and the health are unable to do, because you could be sick many times. Your business could be robbed over and over. You could lose your car 3-4 times, but you only could die once. And so with life insurance, it's very phenomenally safe and sound, but you have to take it out while you're in good health.
And that's a perfect segue. Mr. Lockhart, what are some of the misconceptions about insurance that consumers tend to have? And I guess everyone can chime in on this question. But from a life standpoint.
Well, I'll speak from the life standpoint. A lot of persons tend to think we're the bank.
Yeah.
We're not a bank. Now, a lot of products, life insurance is the only insurance product that heavily you could find, depending on the product that you purchase, a savings element attached. And of course, with that saving element will determine the level of the premium. But what first needs to realize is security. Security is not capital, it's security first. And it's a product of love. So if you don't really love anyone, then we need to talk to investments and the like. We could kill 2 and 3 birds with one stone with life insurance. So it's all about getting into a conversation, finding out about what you need for you and your family. For some persons, they have no kids. And so what is the type of life product that you need? You may just need a $15,000 for burial expenses. And so we're able to do so many things that's creative in 2022 in the industry. And so it's all about a conversation and relationship.
Okay. And what are some of those misconceptions that you hear on a regular basis, Ms. Rogers?
Well, we find that persons sometimes think I am covered 100% for everything. So it is good to know your insurance plan. Does the insurance have, are there any exclusions? Are there limitations? Are you familiar with the general workings of your plan when you are going for treatment? Does your plan have an annual deductible, the co-insurance limit or co-payments? These are your level of financial responsibility that persons should be familiar with. Otherwise, they can go to receive their health care and they are really unprepared to meet their financial responsibility. So we encourage persons to know your plan, know that product that you've purchased, because there are varying insurance products on the market, and it depends on which you have purchased that really determines the level of care you can receive, or your insurance responsibility as well as yours for you to access that care.
And Mr. Johnson, it's interesting that Ms. Rogers mentioned people feel 100% covered. It's a perfect segue. We talked about homeowners insurance and taking out hurricane insurance. During hurricanes, do Bahamians have that same mindset of being 100% covered? And secondly, and I want to make this a two-part question, when it comes to car insurance, are we insuring ourselves the way we are supposed to by the law? Are the vehicles on the road insured?
Thank you. Well, you know, from past experience, and certainly in the recent past, as a result of Hurricane Dorian, one of the greatest challenge insurers faced in the adjustment of claims was underinsurance. There certainly the insuring public sometimes believe because they have an insurance policy, they are fully covered. You know, certainly I know the industry make every effort to remind insureds to insure for the full value. As a matter of fact, we now have in place a declaration that each policyholder has to sign to say that they understand, it has been explained, and they do understand the need to insure for the full value of their property. But notwithstanding that, I think cost is a factor, and sometimes persons will purchase as much insurance as they presumably can afford at that particular time. At the end of the day, I always say it's still better to have some coverage than not to have any coverage at all. But it's important that the consumer realize that there are consequences when you underinsure. As regards automobile insurance, we are aware that there is quite a number of uninsured vehicles on our streets, particularly prior to the pandemic, but certainly following the pandemic. You know, there were a period of time when the emergency orders allowed persons to operate their vehicles without having to register them because of the financial disposition of many persons. And there were some provisions made for insurance company to continue insurance coverage. Well, all of that has now fallen away, but I think there are still persons who either because of their financial situation have not been able to reinstate their insurances. It is a concern to us. It certainly should be a concern to other road users, because if you're driving and someone is at fault and cause damage or injuries to yourself, then you're going to find yourself in a very awkward position. Yeah. So, you know, there are things afoot that I think is going to improve the situation. I know the Road Traffic Department is looking at automating the registration of vehicles, and they are working in conjunction with the general insurance companies so that we can share information and be able to better monitor the number of uninsured vehicles on the streets.
Okay. We have to pause for another commercial break, but when we come back, we really want to get into Bahamas, the insurance month. This is You and Your Money. We'll be right back. Just give me 1 minute, guys. I'll be right back.
So Charlene, have you guys seen a lot of COVID-related claims in terms of death? Because that would have been covered under the life and health policies, right?
Yes, so we've
Yeah.
seen them. Yes, we've seen.
I guess it's very, well, in terms of the number of deaths, the percentage of persons who would have had insurance is very small. I would imagine, you know.
Yes, so I think we've seen more, I guess, extensive medical treatment. You know,
Yes,
the deaths
yes.
have been there, but, you know, I guess, you know, those.
Yeah, the health side would have generated more claims than the actual death. Yeah. I always say in automobile insurance, usually when there's a claim and there's bodily injury, I always say that it's cheaper for the person to die as opposed to because you could spend hundreds of thousands of dollars paying medical expenses.
Yes, and it can go on a long time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you have more information on the activities for the month?
I really don't have any. I
Okay,
leave that up to you.
Okay, I have something here then. You're writing BIA, so you'll have to fix up anything else.
Yeah, no, I think what you said earlier was quite
Okay.
quite comprehensive.
Okay.
So
We'll
I
stick
really
with
don't.
that then. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I told Rhonda I am I was reluctant to do it because I really wasn't all that up to date. That's the month of activities. So I can always talk around the edges, but
Okay.
so
All right. I have to fly you to fix anything else up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the final segment coming up, guys. Question: who should I direct these questions concerning the insurance month and its activities? Or do the three of you want to speak to it collectively?
I mean, Charlene.
Charlene? Okay, I just wanted to find a Mr. J.
I will start and he will anchor when he.
Okay, so Ms. Rogers, you're running that lead leg, but he has to bring it home.
Yes.
Now, Antonio, I will say this. You bring a lot of energy, Antonio. I almost bought a life insurance policy from you just now. He had me at a low.
He's a trained salesman, man.
Misconceptions. There's so much misconceptions.
I know.
People just think the money is fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
So they just think they're entitled to life insurance. But so there's so many things we could talk about that the public,
Yeah, I know. But let's really focus on the activities for this month and the virtual presentations that are going on. The virtual, awards. All right, guys. Thanks, Susie. All right, so is everyone ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
3, 2.
Welcome back to You and Your Money. I'm your host, Javon Butler. And this evening, we are speaking with individuals from the insurance sector, as this is Insurance Month. And we are ready for the celebratory awards that are happening this month. The Bahamas Insurance Association is represented this evening by Mr. Charles Johnson, Vice President. Excuse me. Start again, guys. I'll start again. Let me start again, Terrence.
From the top,
Yeah, start from the top.
stand by. 3, 2,
Welcome back to You and Your Money. I'm your host this evening, Javon Butler. And we are speaking with the Bahamas Insurance Association, celebrating Insurance Month for the month of February under the theme, Insurance and You, Resilient Together. Our guests, Mr. Charles Johnson, Senior Manager, J.S. Johnson, Ms. Charlene Rogers, Vice President of Bahama Health, a subsidiary of Family Guardian, and Antonio Lockhart, District Manager of Family Guardian. Now, Ms. Rogers, they tell me that you are the point person to have the conversation with concerning the exercises and celebrations that are happening this month in the insurance industry. Tell us about the virtual awards, Ms. Rogers. What should we expect?
Okay, so at the virtual awards, this is where our employees will be receiving their recognition and for certain certifications within the insurance industry. And so we are familiar with the LOMA examination. So persons will be recognized for the various designations they will achieve. And there are quite a bit within the life and health insurance industry. We have the ACS, FLMI, ALMI, ICA, FLHC, ALU, FALU. So we do find that within the insurance industry, we encourage our employees to invest in taking these industry-related exams, as it helps them in their day-to-day operations. So the companies would have had these celebrations face-to-face, but of course, in the last 2 years, we've had to shift gears. So it will be a virtual award of these presentations.
And Ms. Rogers, you mentioned many designations. What are some of the specialties in the insurance industry from a career perspective? I know we always think of the insurance agent, but what other areas may the average Bahamian enter or look upon to entering the insurance agent industry?
Okay, yes, there are many specialties. So we have actuarials, we have underwriters, we have persons that specialize in customer service. And when we think of customer service, we think about that employee that provides that verification of benefit, pre-certification of benefit. We now have claims adjudicators. They're expanding their knowledge through medical coding. We also have expanded even in the area of clinical care, in that we're now hiring nurses that assist with case management and utilization review. And all of this assists us in making better and stronger decisions on how we review claims, how we assist our clients when they are in need of care. So definitely the insurance has expanded the various specialties in terms of careers.
Antonio, you definitely have the energy of the sector. What would you say to those who are involved in the sector and those who are interested in getting into the sector from an agent and broker standpoint?
From an agent and broker standpoint, I would like to say we held very well for job security. This morning, I'm going over income when I go to the district to show persons where we are, what are those targets, because a lot of things that we do, persons get afraid it's commission-based, but it is highly productive because it's going to speak to our customer service. It's greatly about building relationships. Like what we teach at my district and Family Guardian, we don't sell policies. We provide solutions to assist persons. And so it's all about getting into that conversation, finding out what's the particular need, because every top of his own bottom, they used to say, and we want to secure that bottom for each person. And so it's an industry where you could make some good monies if you're disciplined, if you love people. Don't come if you don't love people, because then you just can be a problem. But if you love people, this is an industry, especially from the agent and the broker standpoint, that could be phenomenal. It's been wonderful to me. It's been wonderful to so many others. And it's an industry where you do have benefits because you can't say you're taking care of people and the industry ain't taking care of you. So you find you got your pension and your medical. So it's something to be excited about. It's something to be excited about. Protecting families, that excites me.
Mr. Johnson, as the most distinguished member of the panel, talk to us about the resilience and stability of the industry. You've been in it for maybe 5-10 years, and you were seeing some things during your course of time. Where's the insurance industry headed? Where is it going? And what do you hope for the industry in the future?
Thank you very much. 5-10 years. And it's much longer than that. Now, as Antonio was saying, in terms of job security, the insurance industry has proven to be one of those industries that have not been adversely affected in terms of loss of jobs as a result of catastrophes and even as recent as the pandemic. We, as far as I'm aware, all of the member companies have been able to retain their employees. All of them are solvent and meet the necessary financial requirements to remain in business. And we basically, we take our licks, but we keep on ticking. And, I've been in the business for many, many years, and I think I can speak to it from my personal experience. Resiliency, I think, from a broader perspective or from a global perspective, we recognize that there is a widening of the gap between insured losses and economic losses based upon the high frequency and severity of catastrophic losses. And now you have the exposure to cyber type crime losses. And I think as we move forward, as you ask in the future, insurers must continue to work along with the authorities to see how we can better meet the needs of the insuring public to try to close that gap, because we have seen in Dorian where even though the general insurance industry paid out in excess of $2 billion, the economic loss to the country was substantially higher. So the question really is, going forward, how do you close that gap so that there are more persons covering their properties from losses? Because the shortfall actually falls on the government. And, we have seen where the debt loss ratio for countries are increasing substantially simply because a lot of properties damaged in these events, pandemics as well, are not covered.
Okay. Ms. Rogers, we have 60 seconds left. I'll give you the last word. Tell us about all of the activities that are going to happen this month during the insurance month for the industry.
Okay, so tomorrow we start with a food drive. So we encourage persons to drop off non-perishable items at the various insurance companies. On February 8th, there will be a webinar posting various insurance topics. On the 15th, we have a virtual game night. The virtual awards we mentioned before, that is on the 24th. And every week during the month of February, we will have short videos on it with our industry-related partners. So you will be able to see and hear and learn about the experience of many of us who've been in the insurance industry for some time, the particular specialty area they're in, what drives them with a passion for this career. So we ask that you embrace this insurance month. We really want to encourage awareness, and we encourage you to ensure you have appropriate coverage, be it life, health, property, or casualty.
Mr. Johnson, Ms. Rogers, Mr. Lockhart, thank you for joining us this evening. And I wish you all the best. Enjoy the celebratory month and continue to do well in the industry.
Thank you, Joan.
Thank you, Javon. Appreciate it.
This has been You and Your Money. We thank you for joining us. Good night. God bless.
Sorry? I lost I lost that.
Oh, sorry. I said it has only been 5 to 10 years that you've been in the sector. I'm not going to age you like that, sir.
I appreciate that. You know?
Yes.
But if you start with 1973 and you go forward, then you figure it out.
Mr. Johnson, your daughter and I are in set, so I'm not going to start there. You were selling insurance before I was considered a life insurance candidate.
Well, Antonio will sell you. As a matter of fact, I'm sure Antonio will come after you. You know, these life insurance guys, they seize every opportunity.
Oh, definitely.
So I'm sure he'll be knocking on your door.
Well, I hope so, because I have a sales pitch for him as well. I see a great opportunity where I can get the insurance product out throughout the entire country using a wonderful platform. But this is your show, not mine. Ms. Rogers, you did exceptionally well, ma'am. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
Great.
you.
Yes, and I do hope you feel better. As you can see, we're all battling a little sore throat today. It's the weather, man.
Yes, the change in weather. We've now had our winter. You
Yes,
know,
we have.
everyone was justified in pulling out their overcoats.
Oh, of course. And if you did not have some pea soup and doughboy or some boiled fish over the weekend, I empathize with you.
I'm serious.
Thank you for joining us, guys, and I'll definitely be seeing each one of you somewhere in the market in a short period of time.
Great. All right,
Thank
Juan,
you.
be in touch.
Hey, everyone,
Michelle
enjoy
and
your day.
Anton.
Take care, Antonio.
Bye. Okay.
Take care, Ms.
Sure.
Rogers.